Okay, it's a Monday afternoon. I just got home and my wife says we've got about half an hour. Well, it sounded to me like half an hour was a minimum before dinner. So probably a good 40 minutes. And so I'm gonna see if I can't get something done. What I really wanted to do was work on that because I want to get the bracing on the top to tie everything together. That should be kind of the final pieces before it's ready to prep and coat and do all that stuff. I don't think I've got enough time to get into that, so instead I'm going to work on this, and I'll show you what that is and why I think I'm going to work on that. This is, huh?
They're still going to work on that.
I will, but not tonight, I don't think. I'm going to work on this. This is one of those things that's not necessarily a need as much as it is a want. That's the wrong package. That's a project for a different day. This one here, which I'm surprised is in such a big, deep box. So it may not be what I think it is either. I'm not sure this is what it's supposed to be either. I'm gonna go grab a knife and figure out. I don't have my pocket knife.
Well, that's a problem. Okay, so what is that anyway?
Speakers.
Oh, speakers.
Speakers for the Land Cruiser. The speakers that in their Land Cruiser are terrible. I think only one of them, well, maybe 1.5 is working currently. And that's one of the passengers, and then one in the back that kind of comes in and out. But they're all just completely shot. So the one up front just sounds terrible when you put any volume to it. And of course you need volume because you're in the Land Cruiser. And it's loud. So we're going to see if maybe we could pull that around and at least do the fronts. The 2 front doors is what I'd like to do tonight because those are the most important ones. And then maybe another time we'll do the rears. But what I'm curious about is why there's 2 boxes. Flush mount speaker. Maybe there's only one in your box. Seems like an awful big box for just one speaker.
I think there's one too. I think there's one. Maybe 2.
There's 2.
Oh. Why is there 2 boxes?
Did I buy 2 sets? I think I bought 2 sets. I'm gonna have to go check my Amazon account. Maybe I bought 2 sets on accident. I'm pretty sure I only bought 1 though, but I'll deal with that in a minute. I'm gonna go get the Land Cruiser, see if we can't get going on these. In there. Okay. It's super windy out here. You might not be able to tell. I'll turn you so you can see the trees up here. Just blowing. So I'm hoping I'm a little sheltered here by the shop and maybe kind of out of the wind a little bit. But I apologize if there's too much wind noise. Hopefully my microphone's doing its job. These are the ones we're going to worry about tonight. And like I said, it should be pretty quick. It's already got this size speaker in the door, so it should just basically be a matter of kind of taking out the new ones, putting the new ones in, doing a little bit of wiring because I think the driver's side wire might be completely broken.
Okay, yeah, there is 2.
So those guys right there, and hopefully they'll produce a decent sound for what we're wanting to do. Oh good. I was hoping The other ones I've got this screen kind of clips onto the face, and that keeps falling off. I've had issues with it. That's part of the reason why the ones in the back are so bad. But these ones look like the screws go all the way through and kind of tie it all together, which is what I was hoping for.
And what makes me think about something of
There's
those holes.
screws.
Maybe we're supposed to screw something in those holes.
Yeah, that's where the screw goes through and ties it all together. There's wires. Okay, let's get inside the door, see what it's going to take to change this out. I found the problem. This had pulled out of the back of this switch here, which is really hard to understand how that could have happened on this cheap $20 deck that I got off of Amazon. I can't figure out why that would be an issue, but that was the issue. So I've got it pushed in there good and tight. Might be a better way to do it, but the way that I'm going to handle this is I'm going to put a zip tie around these two and pull some slack on that one there, and then pull that tight so they're kind of pinched together like so. And then that ought to hold that to where if I get tugging on something under there, it won't pull that one out because it'll kind of lean on the other one. So should be good now. I'm going to stuff this back in. Okay, that's in. They're both playing. We're good to go. Okay, I shifted gears. I cleaned up, brought the Land Cruiser in, and I'm going to show you why I've got the Land Cruiser in here. This is one of those things that has bothered my wife for a long time, and I'm going to finally address it. And that is the ceiling in the Land Cruiser. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we've got it all stripped out in here. Now, what is left on the ceiling, my wife thought was, turning off my light, my wife thought it was rust. So I don't know if it appears like that to you also. On closer inspection, you'll see that it's actually glue and like foam. And it's basically, at one point there was a headliner fix done in here, and basically they used the spray glue, put foam, and then the headliner up, which worked for a long time, but then it eventually sagged and fell down. When it landed in my hands years after my dad passed away, I tried to fix it a couple of times, just couldn't get it figured out, and finally decided, well, I'm just going to tear it out and redo it. As I tore it out and redid it, I found that mice had made nests up there. It was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, it was raining down on me as I was pulling it down. Really, really bad. And so that's why it just hasn't been fixed or taken care of, is because all those spots were left up there. And ultimately, I was trying to figure out what to do to fix it. I don't have the spring bars that go across. That's the original kind of OEM setup. And so I've just been trying to decide, but it's bothered my wife for a long time. Hasn't really bothered me because I'm used to kind of gross, rigged, not finished type stuff, until I took the roof rack off and had the sun beating on it. And then it got really hot. I'd get in it and you could just feel the heat radiating off of that metal. And so then I decided, okay, I need to do something about this. So what I'm going to try and do is scrape that off. I've got a couple of methods I'm going to try. We'll see what works best to scrape that off. And then I've got some of that sound deadener insulation stuff that's adhesive on one side that we're going to stick up there. And then over top of that, I think we'll be able to spray some sort of a headliner to make it look nicer and do that kind of a system. So we're going to see how that works out. But first I need to scrape all that off. The other thing I'm going to try and accomplish is the seat, the front seat on this cruiser is just bad. It's full of holes, it's rotten, there's been mice nests in it. Really, really bad. It stinks, it's just not comfortable. I tried to kind of patch it and fix it with seat covers, and it just didn't quite work. I realized that the parts FJ55 that I have has a front seat in it, and it looks like it will bolt right in and fit, and it's kind of crusty and weathered, but it's not bad. And I've got a seat cover to go over top of it that I think will just solve that problem make it look better, feel better, all of the above. And then maybe I'll take this seat and see what I could do about getting it refoamed, fixed, reupholstered, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try and accomplish all that, because scraping off the roof is going to make a mess, I know. And so I might as well pull the seats out, and or the seat at least, pull the seat out, have it kind of cleaned up a little bit to where I could scrape all that off, vacuum it up, put a new seat in, and kind of work in there. So we'll see how much I can get done today. I'm hoping I can get most of that done today. We'll see. Well, as you might be able to tell, that's a pretty nasty process. But I ended up using a wire brush on my cordless grinder. That's set up right there. And I did a pretty dang good job. Some of this stuff is just on there, and I don't know what to do to get it off, but I think it'll probably be okay. I'm gonna go over it a little bit more, I think, and then take a wet cloth and kind of wipe it down, see if I can get all the dust off, and just prep that surface for that adhesive to go up. And we'll try sticking some up and see how it works. Okay, I went over that a second time, and then I took a wet rag and kind of wiped it all down, got all the dust off. This is what I'm going to be laying in there. It's just a sound deadener and insulator. You peel this side off, and it's sticky underneath, and you just got to cut it to size. So I'm going to see if I can figure out the best way to do this, to cut it to size and to get it to be manageable to lay in there and work with and stuff like that. I might do 2 pieces for each section. I don't know. We'll see. I've installed vinyl before with my business, and I've always hated doing it because it's just so finicky, and it seems like I haven't ever been able to figure out the trick to get it laid up there and flat, all the bubbles out, all that stuff. But this will probably be easier because it's not as thin as vinyl, a little more rigid and stuff. So I'm going to crawl in there and see what I can figure out with it. Well, I ran the four-wheeler back here. I was going to grab that seat and thought it'd be a lot easier to bring it on the four-wheeler than it would by carrying it. But now the four-wheeler ran out of gas. The valve on it's not working like it should. It was down on full, and I turned it to reserve. Still not sucking fuel. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to climb this fence here real quick because I'm supposed to go all the way around and then in, so I don't have to get over the fence. But we're going to check this out, and then we'll go back and get gas and see if we're going to come grab it or not. I'm going to put you down so I don't snag myself on barbed wire. Okay, safely on the other side. I still snagged a hole in my pants, but what can you do? All right, let me look at this real quick and see what I can learn. Now, other than that big hole in the back and the fact that it's not latched, it wants to keep falling forward. It's in a lot better condition than the one that's in the Land Cruiser right now is. What I did notice though is that the mounting bracketry is a little bit different than what's in the Land Cruiser right now too. So I'm gonna go do some measuring real quick, see if it's gonna work or not. I think it will, but I want to double check before I pull the other one out. And if it's gonna work, then we'll see about swapping them out. So, but I've got to walk because I'm out of gas. So we'll go do that real quick. Okay, 14 inches is what I need from the rear hole to the front hole. So we're gonna go find out. Got my tape measure, my gas can, go fill up that four-wheeler and go measure. If it's gonna work, then we'll bring it back. was supposed to be? How many inches? 14. It's 14 inches, so I think we're good. I'm gonna load it on here and we'll take it back and see if we can get it in. All right, I got the seat out. Here's the mess underneath. All sorts of good stuff. One thing I wanted to look at was that heater, see if it's leaking anywhere, see if it works, a couple things like that. So I'm going to play with that for a minute, and then we'll get that other seat in here and see if we can't get it installed. Well, I got the seat in. It took a little bit of doing, and I had to drill new holes right there to go through to mount it. What I noticed though is, if you can see, that right there is bent, which is tipping this back forward. That feels pretty good, but this is tipped forward, and this won't slide back and forth either. I thought I checked that when I grabbed it. It seemed like it was rolling, but I might have just seen that side was moving and didn't pay attention. But I've got to call it. I've got an appointment at 6:30 that's about 40 minutes away, and so I need to get on the road and get out to that. So but it's in, and so I can at least move it and drive it, and the driver's seat is an okay position. So anyways, I gotta call it for now, but I got a lot done. I'm excited, and my wife came out and saw the ceiling in there, and she was excited to see that. She said it looked really good, so that's a win for sure. So I'm gonna roll, and we'll catch you on the next project. Well, hello. This is a Monday afternoon. I'm back working on, back in the shop, working on the Land Cruiser, and I'm going to jump right into it. Yes, I do have a winch running to the front seat. Either going to be a really bad idea, or it's going to be a good idea and work. I'm hoping it's going to be a good idea. If you remember correctly, this seat that I got and faithfully installed is tipped forward. This side over here is bent, so I'm hoping I can ease it on back and kind of bend it back into a position that it was supposed to be in, so it's a little bit more comfortable. So I'm gonna hop on the winch, watch it from the back window. You get a front row seat, get a watcher right here, and we'll see if we can't kind of get it back to where it should be. Current problem is I'm pulling the Land Cruiser back even with it in gear. So I'm going to let it off, see if I can block the tires, and try it again. Well, here's where I've landed. I've got a 2x4 braced behind the driver's side here, and then I'm pulling the passenger side back. I don't know if you can see that angle that's on. hoping that maybe that'll kind of straighten it out a little bit and see if that'll clean it up. We'll see. I think I'm going to crank it a little bit more. You can see the stress we're putting on it. I'm getting kind of nervous about braking, but I'm going to try and crank a little bit more and see if it'll settle. Ooh, that might have done it. Oh yeah, yeah, it's if anything, it might be back a little too far. No, I think that's good. Okay. Awesome. Well, cool. I guess I should have done that to begin with versus trying to deal with the frame, but either way, I think we've got that settled. Safety glasses. All right. Got the seat sorted. I've got a seat cover I'm going to put on there, and I want to do that here in just a minute. But first, I want to do this next section here between these two ribs. And get them insulated, and I want to do that before I do the seat cover because of how dirty it is. I know it's gonna get dirty and gross and stuff like that, so I figure I'll just do this first, get that done, and then we'll kind of focus on the seat cover. And I don't think I'm gonna have enough material to do this back. I might have enough to do kind of sections of it, but I don't think I'm gonna quite have enough to finish the whole thing, so I'm just gonna focus on this for now, and then we'll move to that depending on what we've got done. So, but I got my safety glasses on, not necessarily because I need to, but because I want to, because this stuff is gross. I'm gonna go ahead and scarf up and get to it. Well, I'm gonna say it right now, that's probably the nicest seat cover. Let me rephrase that, because I've got some really nice seat covers in my truck. Seat covers in my truck were super expensive though, and they were like custom fit for that seat. So I'm going to say this is the nicest universal seat cover that I've ever put on. I'm really pleased with it right now. I think it's going to be a good durable setup. It was easy to get on. The straps are easy to put on. It's not tying strings and stuff like that. It's clips. So if I have to take it off to wash it, super easy. Take it off. It's Velcro on the top, clips on the bottom. Off, throw it in the washer, and then put it back on. And it's big enough to where if it shrinks a little bit, it's not going to be a big deal. So we'll see how the durability goes. But so far, I'm going to hop on Amazon and give this a 5-star review. Exactly what I'm looking for. And in fact, I may even hop on and order another one for the back seat. The back seat's a little bit harder of a setup because it's kind of a weird size, and like I said, it's only 2 seat belts and stuff, but I think it'll still fit, and I think it'll be a big improvement. So, but I mean, what I've done in here between this seat, the seat and the seat covers is a huge upgrade for this Land Cruiser. I can't tell you how bad that other seat was. In fact, if I get the seat cover off, I'll show you a picture of it. I mean, it is really bad shape. And so for the comfort and everything that this seat's going to provide with the new seat covers and stuff. In fact, I'll be honest, I'm sorry, my local law enforcement friends, I wasn't wearing my seatbelt driving this because it was such a pain in the neck to get the seatbelt around and clipped in and stuff like that. I was making my kids do it, but there was like it was hung up. It couldn't loosen enough. Anyways, I'll be wearing my seatbelt now and be safe. So that's the setup. I'm super excited, and I think with that I'm gonna call it a night and head in. I think it's probably about time to get the kids ready for bed and kind of sit back and watch some TV or a movie or something. So I'm going to sign out now, and I'll catch you on the next one.